So, ladies and gentlemen, we go for our next race here. It's heat number 1 for the Rotax Cadet, getting their own race today. 95% of the grid novices. So let's see how the first Rotax Cadet heat will go. It'll be a false start to begin with, as one of our drivers very keen to get going. And we go to the top bend for what is actually the first ever Rotax Cadet heat in the Clay Pigeon Kart Club Championships. So coming down the main straight then. And this time we are good to go. A very slow start from the Rotax Cadets, but nevertheless we are underway, going around Billy's for the first time for the Rotax Cadet in their own heat. Last round they were combined with the Hondas. This time the 5 drivers getting the track to themselves. Our running order for the start of this race with a quick drying track. So I eventually managed to get it out. So it's Sebastian Behrman out in front, followed by Lewis Herbertson. Amrit Atwell in the number 13 in 3rd position. Ethan Coupland in 4th, and then Kurt Kaplan in 5th. Close behind the man in 4th though. So 43.49 is the fastest lap time. The 73 sailing away a little bit from the other drivers. The 88 of Kurt Kaplan hanging on to the back of Ethan Coupland for the minute, as they're going around the hairpin. Meanwhile, the 13 trying to catch up with the 53 and try and get ahead of the 53 as they're going around the right-hander. But it is the man out in front though, Sebastian Behrman, in the number 73, coming down the main straight, still leading the way at the moment. So leading back round once again. The 73 increasing his gap between the other 2 drivers who are tussling with one another. The 53 still out ahead, mind. The 13 still trying to plot a plan to get ahead, trying to take alternative lines to the man in front. As they go through the S's, which is looking almighty dry now, down Sturmey Straight. And towards the hairpin we go. The 13 looking on the outside currently for the entrance of the horseshoe. Has a nice little puddle in it. Meanwhile, back at the horseshoe as well, Kurt Kaplan still behind the number 43 of Ethan Coupland. The gap has been relatively the same throughout it. The 2 having almost identical pace. Meanwhile, the 13 still behind in 3rd position at the moment. Lewis Herbertson still managing to stay ahead. The 13 still trying to plot that plan. But meanwhile, Sebastian Behrman sort of walking away with this one at the moment. The 73 is Sebastian Behrman going over the line there. 42.64 is the fastest lap time. These 2 in 2nd and 3rd really sticking with one another. The 13 still trying to take alternative lines to try and get ahead of the 53. Lewis Herbertson still not feeling the threat at the moment of the driver behind. 2 minutes 30 left on the clock. The 13 still trying as they're going towards the S's. Just watching his placement of his car as he goes round. He's right on the bumper of the 53, going down the back straight. He's going to look down the inside. Doesn't quite have it as they go into the hairpin. So he'll be trying it all again, going around the horseshoe. Catching up once again at the horseshoe through the right-hander. And towards the top bend we go for our 2nd and 3rd position drivers. The 13 a little bit quicker at the top bend as well. The gap is over 8 seconds between 1st and 2nd position. And speaking of 2nd position, the 13 has finally managed to get ahead of the 53. The 13's managed to fly away from the other drivers out there on the track. Speaking of drivers, the 53 has popped into the pits. So no wonder why it's a bit empty out there with between the 13 and the 53. But meanwhile, coming down the main straight and taking the checker flag, it will be the number 73 of Sebastian Behrman It also takes the fast lap of a 42.67. In second position with even a little celebration was the 13 of Amrit Atwal. His fastest lap at the end of that one, this is a 42.57, so after he was let go, actually had quite a lot of pace. Also coming down the main straight to take the checker flag is Ethan Copland in third, then Kurt Kaplan will take fourth at the end of that race. Right then, towards the top bend we go, and then we'll be able to get ready for the Rotax Cadet for their second heat as they come down the main straight into Billy's, and we are underway for this second heat for the Rotax Cadets. So around the S's, down the back straight, and it's 73 leading the way. So I'm going to keep this one exclusive to the YouTube live stream. My voice is gone. It just left my brain. But 3 minutes 40 left on the clock. Sebastian Behrman is leading the way. Kurt Kaplan is catching mind to the 73. So you'll have to excuse my bit of a manly voice. That's well, it's not really manly, is it? It's just really breaking. In third position is the 53, Lewis Herbertson. We've got Ethan Copland in fourth, and in fifth is Amrit Atwal. So big change in our novices. Kurt Kaplan with some brilliant pace so far in this race, managing to stay away from the rest of the other drivers. So hopefully my throat will decide to clear itself throughout the rest of this heat. So Sebastian Behrman still leading the way, fastest that time of 41.85. Kurt Kaplan managing to stay behind. Faster from him is a 42.22. So some brilliant good pace from Mr. Kaplan. Sebastian Behrman is still leading the way with a charging Kurt Kaplan behind in kart number 88, who has got a 2 second gap between himself and the number 73. Fastest from him is a 42.21. Meanwhile, weather systems decided to come on through, and boy has it come on through. Say hello to rain, because we got it. So Sebastian Behrman still leading the way with 1:39 left. Kurt Kaplan in second, staying on circuit, going through the corner of Billy's. Through the S's we go. Still dry spots somewhat visible on the circuit at the moment, as Clay Pigeon presents itself with multiple different weather systems throughout the day. 54 seconds left, and hello, it's close between two drivers, the 73 and the 88. Kirk's got some pace here as we go through Billy's. It's not really visible on the YouTube live stream, and it's just visible from my eyeballs. As we go through the S's, down the back straight we go. Kurt Kaplan has brought a 2 second gap down to, well, what is only a few tenths. So around the hairpin we go, towards the horseshoe. Kirk handling these conditions fairly well. Not enough rain really, well, to affect the track at the moment, I don't think. But it's enough to affect Sebastian Behrman as we go down the main straight, and taking the lead. It's the number 88, Kurt Kaplan, on what is actually his debut for the Clay Pigeon Kart Club Championships. He has now absolutely stormed away. His tyre choice must be completely different to Sebastian Behrman, as the weather front really charges in now. So around the hairpin we go, towards the horseshoe. We'll be coming up to our last lap very soon. So, and this pace is coming from somewhere, and I know somewhere, because only last Thursday, the man coming over the line now, Kurt Kaplan, was actually practicing in the wet. So it's already paid off, turning up on a really rainy day at Clay. So through the S's, down the back straight we go for the 88, and you can really tell that Kirk had different tyres to everyone else. His last lap of 44.95, Sebastian Behrman 49.25. The rest of the grid, Lewis Herbertson 50.87 and Amrit Atwal a 58.36. So his tyre choice has paid off absolutely on point, because as he comes down the main straight and takes the checker flag first, Kurt Kaplan, our novice, The number 88 taking the checker flag for the Rotax Cadet heat number 2. Sebastian Behrman takes second 9 seconds later, believe it or not. This weather front really changed this race out and has given Kurt Kaplan his first ever win on his first ever race day. Ethan Coupland just going over the line there after a while sitting down at the hairpin. Lewis Herbertson third, and then in fourth will come Amrit Atwal at the end of that race. So, top novice on that one is actually our winner. And he's going to be well chuffed at that. It's Kurt Kaplan at the number 88. So, emerging from the fog on the top bend. Let's get going for the Rotax Cadet heat number 3. Let's see what we get from these 5 drivers throughout the course of this race. So going through the S's down the back straight, it's a 73. So your running order will be as follows. It's Sebastian Behrman, followed by Amrit Atwal, then it's Ethan Coupland, then Kurt Kaplan, then Lewis Herbertson. That is your running order for the top 5 and only 5 drivers of this race. So it's still flying on by. We've had a little opportunities and a couple of opportunities from the 88 looking for some moves. That's the Kurt Kaplan out there. Ethan Coupland ahead at threat from the 88, so already making some great first impressions here, racing on round. As we go around the hairpin towards the horseshoe, so our top 2 a little bit further away from the others as they have gaps of their own. So it's really a look at the backpack here, and the backpack only being the 3rd, 4th and 5th drivers of Ethan Coupland, Kurt Kaplan and Lewis Herbertson. So down the back straight they go. Keep an eye on Kurt Kaplan as he's taken inside to outside lines throughout the back straight to try and get some extra grip out there, possibly looking for inside moves going into the horseshoe, but at the moment all 3 drivers equal in pace, and the gap's not really changing between 3rd, 4th and 5th either. It's a bit of a stalemate, but as I say that though, a very brave dart down the inside by the 88 just before the S's, and that's actually promoted Kurt Kaplan up into 3rd. So as I say, nothing was happening. Something did happen, and Kirk's now flying off away from the rest of them. When I say the rest of them, there's only 2 others. A very brave move there, and a very swiftly pulled off move there. So I try and think of the right words to use. So we're nearing the 17 seconds left on this race. I actually was saying stuff, but I had the mic muted. So not much has happened in the last few minutes, as we had no commentary, as everyone is evenly spread out there. Sebastian Behrman with the fastest lap of 45.55. So yeah, still no changes really between all of these drivers. 4-second gap between first and second, 6 seconds between second and third. It's all within on an average of about 5 and a bit seconds gap wise between all karts out there. But meanwhile, we'll be coming up to the last lap board now. For our leader, the 73 is Sebastian Behrman, who's led once more from the start of this race. Sort of one of the advantages of being the only non-novice out there, as the rest of the field being novices out there. Amrit Atwal, Kurt Kaplan, Lewis Herbertson and Ethan Coupland. So a very calm and collective race here. And then towards the top bend, he will merge at some point as they come down the main straight now. And we'll be taking the checker flag. It is the number 73 of Sebastian Behrman, who has walked away with that one. 5 and a bit seconds later is Amrit Atwal. And then Kurt Kaplan promoting himself up into the top 3, up into 3rd. And he's 12 seconds behind the eventual winner. Then we've got Lewis Herbertson in 4th, and Ethan Coupland will be 5th.